I worked at a fairly large two-story mall in northern Illinois. The place gets by just fine, but they budget cut constantly, and security was no exception. This all led to me working the graveyard shift. Alone. The mall at night after cleaning and maintenance guys left was so quiet you could hear a mouse fart. Really made the place creepy when I was on patrol. Every night was the same. Every hour on the hour, I'd go on a walk about the entire mall. I always took the back corridors when I could, as I knew they were lit. One night, I came back to the security office from a walk around and sat in front of the boring camera monitors. But as soon as I took a look, I saw something weird. A mannequin was standing in one of the back hallways. It was one I'd walked down just half an hour ago, and I know nothing was there then. Curious, I got up and went to investigate. When I got there, I was surprised to see not one, but 4 mannequins, shoulder to shoulder, as if they were blocking the hallway. Now, these weren't the kind of mannequins that can be all posed and had a face. These were the ones that just stood at attention to display suits and such. Rightly freaked out, I started to take a step forward when I heard a noise from the other end. 4 more of the things were down the other side of the hallway. I noped back out the door and saw another one just standing out on the mall floor. At this point, I knew it had to be one of the cleaning guys screwing with me. Problem was, they all should have left before 12, and now it was going on 4. I decided screw this, and booked it back to my office and just sat there for the rest of the night. When the morning shift guy came, I asked him about them, and he said he didn't see anything. None of the stores even use that kind of mannequin anymore. They all use the ones in fancy poses. I quit a week later when they tried to put me on the graveyard shift again. University professor here. Back when I was still getting my doctorate, I used to stay in the university until very late at night or early in the morning. I like working at night, and back then I didn't have the means to perform all my work from home. I used to get all sorts of spookiness. I remember one night specifically in which the night guard came over to my office looking terrified and said he was hearing some really weird noises. He asked me to go along with him just to make sure he wasn't going mad, so I agreed. It was probably around 3 a.m. by then, and we were walking around in the dark. Quickly, it became clear the noises were of someone, possibly a woman, crying. We went looking everywhere, thinking it was probably someone in shock, since the person would not reply to us. We followed the noise to a corner where, I swear to God, I know was the source of the crying, and I was looking around and hearing the sound come from absolute empty space. I was scared witless for quite a while, and then the noise started moving away until it disappeared. To this day, neither I nor the guard know what happened. A while back, I was working as an archivist for a Catholic diocese. The offices were in a large building that at one point used to be an orphanage. We didn't keep any offices on the 3rd floor. One day, I asked why, and the maintenance guy just said, "No one messes with that floor." One day I went up to check it out. The rest of the building had been modernized, but this still looked like an orphanage from the early 1900s. Really spooky. I looked around a bit, found some cool stuff, like an old table clock and a fountain pen. At one point, though, I heard a noise. I looked up, and at the far end of the main hallway, I just barely saw a door open. Then another. Then another. The doors were opening closer and closer to me, and suddenly I could hear the sound of running feet approaching. I noped out at that point. The next day, I decided to talk about what I had seen with the maintenance guy while on our smoke break. He laughed and said, "Sounds like you met Sister Marie." Apparently, one of the nuns at the orphanage had fallen off a ladder and died there.